in this stupid isolation box in a conference room somewhere. It was garbage. It was a total garbage setup, I'm not gonna lie. But that's where we started, working on Dragon Ball Z. And so I had an audition in 1998 for this tiny company that was working on this Japanese show. And I went in and auditioned for it because I'd been working on the radio and doing some commercial voiceover and stuff like that. And I thought, that might be fun. So I booked the role of Yamcha and Igor in this Dragon Ball movie called Sleeping Princess and Devil's Castle. That was the first thing I ever worked on. How many of you guys have seen that? Good, none of you. Okay, actually, sorry. I'm so sorry. Just know that we literally recorded that thing like with a can, with a string connected to a college refrigerator and had someone writing it all down. It was awful back then. But about a month later, they said, "Oh yeah, man, Chris, you sound real good in that movie and stuff. Why don't you want to come help us work on this show called Dragon Ball Z?" I go, "I don't know, what is it?" And they go, "Oh, it's like animes, and one of them had Japanese ones." I'm like, I mean, I've seen Ghost in the Shell and Akira. I've seen all of the Japanese animes, so I'm pretty much ready. And so they brought me in and said, "Oh yeah, by the way, Chris, we don't have any money, so we're hardly gonna pay you at all, and you gotta find people to work on this show, work for pretty much nothing." And I go, okay. So I said, maybe I'll call the agents, and I called the agencies in Dallas for talent, and they're going, no, I don't think so. And so then I had to go around town and putting flyers on all of the college campuses, and I put an ad in the paper and stuff, so like, voices needed for national cartoon. And so we had this giant cattle call of actors that came in, and it was mostly garbage people. Like, it was not people who work in the sanitation business, but just like literally garbage humans, like just the worst people. The people who actually read the paper that I put that thing in, which is like just filled with personal ads for people like that are seeking weird things done to their body and stuff. But after auditioning like about 1,000 drunk and high people, I finally found like 11 people that are usable, and in those auditions I ended up finding the voice of Goku. His name is Sean Schimmel. Yeah. Which is funny because I auditioned Sean, and that guy called me like every freaking day for 2 weeks, like, "Hey, have you guys made a decision yet?" I'm like, "No, not yet." And then I finally called him and go, "Hey Sean, yeah, you got the voice of Goku in Dragon Ball Z." He goes, "Oh, really? I really thought my Captain Ginyu audition was really good." I go, "You're gonna like this part, man. I think it's better than Captain Ginyu." Like, I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen the show, so but it seems like a better role. So yeah, he booked that role, and that's when we found all of the original Dragon Ball people. That's where we found like, gosh, our original Bulma, and John Bergmeyer played Tien Shinhan. Like, there's just a bunch of, like, a lot of the guys were still working on the show today. So then I was working full-time at Funimation forever. Well, actually, forever felt like, it was really just 6 years, but it felt like forever. And after Dragon Ball Z, oh, by the way, then I skipped a step. Guys were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we don't have a lot of money." And so I sent in a lot of auditions, and I gave them all these people, and they go, "All right, we want this person to play Vegeta." And they go, I said, "That's me." And they go, "All right, good, we want this person to play Piccolo." I go, "That's me also." I said, "Excellent, even better. You're on salary, right?" I go, "Yeah, I am." They go, "Okay, good. So you're gonna play Piccolo, Vegeta, Yamcha, Mr. Popo, Kami, all the dragons, Gazmez, Raccoon, Jason, Burger, Zarmon. Oh yeah, Gohan's grandfather, and Mr. Popo, and Kami, and Icarus, and that's how I got all those voices in Dragon Ball Z. So if you're wondering, like, did Chris get all those voices because he was that awesome? The answer is actually no. It's just, I was that in the right place at the right time. Like, if you go back, I'm sure a lot of you like Dragon Ball Z because, you know, it has a special place in your childhood. And thank goodness you were children when you were watching it, because if you go back and watch some of the earlier stuff, it was pretty garbagey. It was like pretty bad. Thank goodness it did get better over time, and it kind of awesome by the end of it, and we're pretty good, I think, at what we do now. Because the last 2 movies and that series Dragon Ball Super, I don't know if you've heard of that. It's on TV. So that's been cool. But yeah, after all that Dragon Ball garbage, we finally finished Dragon Ball the first time, and I thought, woo, this is over forever. And then these things called video games came along, and we did about 1,000 of those, where we recycled the same story 8 billion times. And then the one time they finally have a new story, which was in Xenoverse. How many of you guys played Xenoverse, right? The first time we get like something with a new story, the translation to that game, to all games actually, it comes in an Excel spreadsheet, right? So when you get the Japanese script for a video game, it comes in an Excel spreadsheet. And I don't know how many of you guys work in Excel regularly, but there's this weird thing that happens if you resize one of the columns. It'll make some of the lines disappear. So the Japanese script came in, some douchebag decided to squish it, and then it was missing like the second and third line of every translation, of every script. And that went to the translator, and the translator just translated what I think is like the first line of each thing. So when you're localizing a game, you have to listen to the Japanese version and then you do the English version. So some of the lines, maybe 20% of them were okay, but the rest of them would go like, and the translation would be like, come here. And of course, on any other game, I would have been able to figure that out because it's the same story over and over again, but not on Xenoverse because that's all new stuff. And the person who got it the worst was like Eric Vale, who played the voice of Trunks. And so he is having to say all these ridiculous lines, and his character was like most of the script wasn't there, so he just had to make stuff up. So I'm really sorry about that, guys. But you all still bought the game and you liked it, even though it was totally bizarre. So I apologize. That's a story. Gosh, man, I'm gonna ramble. I apologize. It's kind of already late, but whatever. So after Dragon Ball Z ended and all this, before I started a studio of my own, Funimation started putting us on other things. Like the next show after Dragon Ball Z was Yu Yu Hakusho. Yeah, it was kind of amazing because Kuwabara is like one of the best characters ever. He kind of sounds like if Vegeta and Yajirobe had a baby. He kind of looked like it too, actually. What's up with that hair? So yeah, I went from working on like, Vegeta is like this angry short guy. And Piccolo basically just tells Gohan what to do, which is, like, I've joked that on many occasions that like Piccolo kind of treated Gohan like a small dog, like a pet. Gohan, go! Gohan, stay! Do it, Gohan! No, don't do it! That was pretty much it. Yeah, people are starting to add their own quotes back there. So yeah, that happened, and then after that we went on and I worked on a show called Blue Gender. How many people actually saw Blue Gender? All right, that show may not have been the best show you've ever seen, but it did symbolize the beginning of something very different. What had happened is that Funimation gave me that show to direct, and then kind of forgot that that they had told me to do it, and they kind of forgot about that show completely. So I got to do whatever I wanted to, and that meant asking for the Japanese elements and the Japanese voice. Because before Blue Gender, all of the materials from Dragon Ball and Yu Yu Hakusho, we didn't have the Japanese materials. We weren't able to really preview what the Japanese sounded like we do today. We just had to kind of guess. Like, we'd just play it and try it. Like, there was no way of knowing. I never knew what Ryo Horikawa, the Japanese voice of Vegeta, even sounded like until we worked on the video games. So with Blue Gender, we actually got to use like the Japanese elements, and we got to copy what they were doing and really try and honor the original, Japanese language version. And that was very helpful. And from that point on, it was so successful, we ended up requesting all of the sound effects and music in the Japanese files, and that's when we started the process that we do today, which is you listen to the Japanese first, and then you get to do your version of it, which makes a lot more sense. It kind of honors the original material a little bit more. That's why Dragon Ball was kind of all jacked up, because we didn't even have anything to go off of. Like, we had nothing to copy, we had no idea what we were doing, and it was a complete mystery sometimes. Thank goodness we kind of all figured it out, and we know what we're doing now. Let's see. All right, after Yu Yu Hakusho, then it just gets really blurry, because Funimation got a bunch of shows. There was a show called Kitty Grade that we worked on, and then soon after that I played this guy, he's like 6 foot tall, wears women's dresses. His name is Ayame from Fruits Basket. Yeah, that was like a departure, because I was used to playing guys who could shoot fire out of their hands and like had big muscles, and this guy was like not that at all. Like, in fact, I was hoping to be another character on that show called Hattori or something, and I talked to the director, and he was like, "No, I have something better in mind for you." I'm like, "Oh, sweet. What kind of guns does this guy have?" He's like, "None of that at all." So, but I felt like maybe that was just foreshadowing. So like 15 years later, when I play Christoph Giacometti in, have you guys seen the show that I'm talking about?
Yes.
It's called Yuri on Ice, by chance? Yeah. Christoph Giacometti, yes. He was awesome. He was an amazing voice to do, and she actually noticed that my Christoph voice in that show sounds like, "I like your tra-la-la." Ding ding dong, or whatever it was. But thank you for pointing that out. Okay, so then we started working on a bunch of other random shows. I played Gyro and Sergeant Frog, which was really fun. Let's see. What? Zorro, yeah. It's called One Piece. And then I worked on this adorable show about this guy who could kill people with his camera because he got kissed by like a 13-year-old or something. Did you guys watch Speed Grapher by chance? Yeah, that show was romantic. See, I basically work on all the shows that Todd Haberkorn doesn't work on. Like,
Fairy Tale.
He works on all the shows that I don't work on. Although we have worked on the same show called Fairy Tale.
Yes.
Like, Elfman, she's a man. Most one-sided character I've ever played. I'm not kidding. Like, I've joked with the director sometimes when I'm going, I was like, can I just go ahead and record my lines right now? It's like, manly, be a man. And that's pretty much all he does. Let's see. And I have a really bad memory, so I have a hard time remembering other voices I've done, but I recently found out that I've done over 600 voices in anime. And apparently, but only actually 4 different voices. Like, the rest, they all mostly sound the same. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's this guy in a show who never wears a shirt, and he's in the military, which would never happen these days. His name is Alex Louis Armstrong. Let's show This is the bragging about myself as we pass down the Armstrong line for generations. That guy would smell awful, I would tell you. Because he stands really tall. His junk is near Ed's face most of the time. And I don't know if, showering is a priority for him, really. You know what? We only have 45 minutes left. I should just open this up to questions, don't you think? Yes, woo! Flapper Girl. America, Italia, female flapper style person. Stand up and let people see your cosplay. Her neighbor bought her this turn of last century outfit, and she decided to kind of turn it into something so she could wear it to this con.
Okay, now I'm blushing really hard right now.
Everyone stare at her real hard.
Alright, so my question is kind of a voice actor question in general. You do, as you said, you've actually done quite a variety of different characters, not just strong, manly characters, but also more feminine, more eccentric, and all that stuff. So I'm wondering...
You mean Yamcha characters?
I was actually going to go like Yamcha was too. But I was wondering, when you're in the booth, what kind of scenes are your favorite to play? The ones where you get to be all dramatic and angry, or the ones you get to be a little bit sillier, or sad scenes? What are your favorite kinds of scenes to do?
Man, I like doing most sorts of scenes. The only scenes that are hard to do are the ones where you're just screaming at the top of your lungs for a long time. So anything that's not that is awesome. I love dramatic stuff. I love comedic stuff. Just a note, don't try this at home. Please don't do this. But I do have a weird trick when I'm trying to kind of play a masculine character who's supposed to cry about something. When I'm trying to get into the character or trying to get into a really sad moment, I take my finger and I press it into my eye really hard so that it hurts. And so it takes my mind off of, hey, you're crying right now, into an area of, ouch, this really hurts. But it kind of pains me in the way that somebody who normally doesn't cry would kind of cry. So that's my secret. Please, again, don't try that. I did not recommend that to you. And in case you all were wondering, I do chew on my own finger when Zoro has a sword in his mouth. That's how it happens. It happens like this. Someone recommended I use a pencil, but I don't like putting foreign objects in the mouth, so at least I know I've washed my hands. Yes, lots of fingers pointing to one person. That can only mean something terrible.
Okay, I have a question about a character you recently done, but I want to preface this. You actually follow one of my Twitter accounts.
What?
Yeah, I remember last year there was this one called @TheRealAllMight that tweeted at you for, "Thank you, Hero, for giving me such a fantastic English voice."
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I made it for in a bridge. But anyway, I wanted to talk about All Might and the character creation that went behind him, because I do remember somebody telling me that that was one of the tougher characters you've had to do. So I was interested to find out what the process was behind making a voice for All Might.
Well, All Might's voice is an interesting dichotomy, because the voice that he's known for when he's All Might, when he's in his hero form, that's like the most epic voice he has. And physiologically he does change shape, so it kind of makes sense that he would sound like that. However, I feel like that form of his is sort of false. It's a form that he puts on for other people. Like it's the voice he thinks people expect out of a hero. So that's part of the challenge of doing it. It's like it's supposed to be big and broad and forward, but the challenging voice actually when he's not in his All Might form, when he has zero power whatsoever, is trying to kind of get that balance between he's really exhausted, but he doesn't sound he's still enthusiastic, you know what I mean? Like that's usually the characters I play are not enthusiastic. They're just I hate my life and I wish I wasn't here characters, but he is actually pretty motivated. He's pretty cool. I loved crafting that voice with Colleen, and I'm so excited for season 2 that we actually get to do some more stuff. By the way, tomorrow, if you're not aware of this, we are doing the American English dub premiere of season 2, episode 1 of My Hero Academia, so you should check that out. But I could tell you what time that is, but I'd have to look at my phone, and that would take forever. But you have a program in front of you, I could just do that, anyway, whatever. Yes, I hope that answered your question. Does anyone way over there have a question? Yes, you in the back, over there, with the, okay.
FYI, My Hero Academia Season 2, Episode 1 panel happens at 6 p.m.
6 p.m., you heard it. Yes.
I just want to thank you for voicing some of my favorite characters of all time.
You're welcome, I did it just for you. Yes. You there. Yes.
So, my main question is for you. With you working on all those shows like Sabat, I didn't even realize you did the stuff with Blue Gender. Now, one of my questions is, since you said Blue Gender, you directed it, the movie. Why am I going blank on the name? I have the complete series at home. How hard was it working on that for the first time, including doing Zoro? Currently,
You're talking about One Piece Gold, or is it?
Blue Gender first with that, and then my next question is, with Zoro and everything coming up with One Piece, how far are you guys with the dubbing process? Are you currently on the time skip, or because it was just recently ripped from Tsunami?
Sure. As for your first question, I didn't 100% understand it, so I'm just going to say it was great. And the second part was, I don't know how far, I mean, obviously we're dubbing it, so I don't know if there, I never know what's secret or not, but we are definitely past the time skip when it comes to dubbing. Yes. So it's awesome. I mean, I cannot speak on the grounds I may be incriminated, but I think we're past the time skip already. And in fact, you're eventually going to get to this scene that is really funny to me. There's a moment after there's some time, like right after the time skip, where Luffy and the gang come across, actually Chopper comes across these guys who are like the fake pirate crew. And so Mike let us play other characters in that. So I got to play the fake Sanji. And I was trying to craft a voice for him. I'm like, what would be the perfect voice for Sanji? And I'm like, I got an idea. I'm gonna study like the 4 kids Sanji. And just,
hey, you know what I'm saying? I just did that voice for him.
and I'm really excited for you to see that. I kind of spoiled it. I was hoping people would just have to figure it out, but it was a fun voice. It just wasn't really accurate to what the character was. Anyway, you're welcome. Yes, anyone in the far back over there? Like, actually you, right here, in the front here. Yeah, you.
So as you mentioned earlier, the original funny dubs of DBZ weren't that wonderful. So were there any moments that you can think of that stick out to you as being wow, that was so crazy that that
I
was
can
funny?
think of a lot of them actually. It's basically episodes 68 through 78 were all pretty horrible, but there was one moment that I'm probably the most embarrassed of any moment, and it was weird writing, and I didn't know what to do. It was when Piccolo emerges after being brought back to life, right? And it's the word, he's like, I can do this. I feel great. Yes, yes. It was the worst, and I knew it was bad doing it, and I was like, no one's ever gonna know this. I just can't think of anything else right now. We've been working for 110 hours that week. I was like, it'll be fine, and I regret that ever since. I seriously regret it. Yes, you in the back with the 2 fingers up.
Sweatshirt I was wearing.
What sweatshirt are you wearing? I can't see it. Looks like it's burger in front. Who is it? Oh, hang on here. Yeah. The 2-star balls.
So with doing, you said 600 anime, and you said you joked around about being 4 voices. Was there any roles you did that you said that you told somebody you did, and or somebody walks up and goes, "Wait, you did that? I had no idea."
A lot of not all people know that I did the voice of Garterbelt in Panty and Stocking feature. Yeah, now, I love that voice, man. It's one of my favorite because I don't get to do that voice very often. It was amazing to do that. Let's see, I'm trying to think other voice. I don't know. I'm not the best person to guess as to what people knew me as the voice of or not. So that's weird. Any other questions? Yes, you right here.
Quote of the week, all with her titties out.
come on, hurry up, man. Yes.
So I've kind of been thinking about it a lot lately.
Me too. We should move forward. I think we should tell everyone. We're dating, guys. You shouldn't be the one to have to tell everyone. It was my responsibility. I'm sorry I wanted to keep it quiet.
Yeah, you keep it in your pants, big man.
I just want to let you know that we're breaking up. It was good while it lasted. Shortest relationship I've ever had, actually.
So now that you know what, probably a clue of what I was going to ask was, I'm kind of, sort of interested in the field of voice acting, and I've sort of been experimenting with impersonations like Miss Swan, like you just heard. Do you have any advice for anyone who might be considering going into the field?
Of course. That's a very popular question, and there's no real surefire way to become a voice actor. It's a pretty sought-after business to be in right now, and I'm very, very, very lucky that I got into it when I did, because a lot of people want to be voice actors now. What I normally tell people is that voice acting is so difficult to get into that you shouldn't necessarily give up on it, but I would treat it like the center of a dartboard and just try and do as many things around voice acting as you can in the hopes that you'll be close enough to it to eventually become a voice actor. So get involved with film production, get involved with TV, get involved in the entertainment business, because that's the way you're going to end up meeting that person that's on the set who's like the audio guy who maybe works at a studio that happens to know voiceover people, and then it's really a lot about networking. And the other thing I tell people is that you have the ability to kind of do what you want to do now. So learn how to do it. Like figure out how to dub on your own. Figure out how to dub your own voices, and then you got this magical thing called YouTube, and you're allowed to put it on that. And for better or worse, like you can already start becoming a voice actor now. But one thing I've noticed that these days is happening more often than it ever used to in the past is that people are taking their own destiny into their own hands, and they're just creating what they want to make. They're not waiting for a big break or for someone to walk in and say, "You've got moxie, you've got great talent, I've got to bring you in and make you a star." People are just really doing what it is they want to do. So I guess study it, be as diverse as possible. Like a lot of voice actors I know actually were engineers, or they did something else, or they were an audio person, or they were a writer or something like that. Just get involved and just be involved in as many things as possible, and eventually you're going to be at the right place at the right time for someone to say, "Man, we need a voice for this commercial," and you go, "I don't mind giving it a shot." And they go, "You've got talent," and then you're famous. So, but yeah, I wish you all the best of luck on that. Like, get training if you can. Be involved in theater. Like, just do as much stuff as possible, because the best actors I know are the ones who are just pretty worldly, the ones that just know stuff. They're smart. They can figure out how to pretend to be anything because they're smart enough to figure it out. So most people who come to these animated conventions are fairly smart to begin with, so you guys already have that down. Thank goodness. So the rest of it is just kind of, just proving yourself and working really hard to do what you want to do. Because you might find you end up like something different. I don't know if I would actually want to be just a voice actor. If it were my only thing I had to do, I don't know if it would be the most fun for me. I like to produce, I like to direct, I like to make music, I like to make sound effects and stuff like that. The more you can do, the more diverse you are, the better off you'll be. I hope that helps. Sure. You're welcome, thank you. Let's see, where are you? Okay. Luigi hat in the back. He is getting his exercise today.
Yeah, we did work out today.
Yes.
Yeah, I know I just showed up, but like, I've watched you voice in Dimension W. Like, how was your experience with that?
It's an awesome show. Like, it was a co-production that Funimation had with the Japanese company. And so it was a cool way of getting in on the ground floor of some of the stuff that Funimation is starting to do with Japanese companies, where they're playing like more of a financial role in the inception of some of these animes, so that they can have earlier distribution rights and stuff. The fun thing about playing Kyoma in Dimension W was it was one of the first of the broadcast dub style, like simul-dub style things that Funimation was doing. So when I went into voice for the first day, I had no idea what it was going to be like at the end of the series. I had no idea what the story was going to be. I had no idea what was happening. So that was kind of the challenge of it. It ended up being a pretty fun show. So Dimension W is one of those shows that that's not as common now. One of the kind of mature, kind of adult, that had a lot of adult characters. It's kind of a deep science story to it. There just aren't as many anime like that anymore, but there used to be, you know, a ton of them, so it was fun to work on that. All right. Yes, whatever you ask me, the answer is yes.
Way back here.
Okay, cool. The Great Saiyaman right here.
I know for me personally, one of the most embarrassing scenes to watch in Dragon Ball was Vegeta's bingo scene.
Oh, yes.
So I wanted to know how you felt recording that, because it's so out of character for him and it's so bizarre.
Yeah, I know. That bingo scene from Vegeta was like foreshadowing for what most of Super was going to be like up to this point. When that movie first came out, Battle of Gods, I had a bunch of fans who had seen it in Japan. I hadn't had a chance to see it yet, and everyone came back to me and said, "Man, Vegeta sings in it. He sings," and I was really worried, like, because Ryo Horikawa, the Japanese voice of Vegeta, his voice is way higher than mine. Like his voice he's like, it's a completely different voice. So I was worried, and he's also he's a thespian and he's a singer too. So I was really worried that I was gonna have to sing as Vegeta, and I never imagined Vegeta being the singing type. So the first thing that happened when we got Battle of Gods in is I told the engineer, I'm like, all right, I don't want to see any, I don't even want to watch the whole thing through. We just have to find Vegeta's singing section. I have to see what that is like. Unfortunately, it ended up being something that was sort of perfect. It was a lot of fun, and the way I sort of played it was Vegeta has probably never sung before. But two things would happen. A, he wouldn't be very good at it, and also he would try his hardest because Vegeta tries his hardest on everything. So it was a blast. The other hard part about it, and I don't know, next time you guys watch Battle of Gods, think about this. The mouth movements for the song and the song rhythmically didn't necessarily match up. So it was really hard as a guy who's also a musician to watch and try and match the mouth movements and sing to it, knowing that it wasn't really on the beat either. So that's where it kind of like, Earth is a fun place to be, oh, the food is tasty too, yum! Like I had to throw in like random mouth movements just to make it look correct. So, but it ended up being one of the most fun scenes, and it hasn't, wait till you guys get to the scene in Dragon Ball Super that basically replaces the bingo scene from the movies, because as you know, the Super kind of takes a lot of its story elements for the first 26 episodes from the two movies, but they replace the bingo song with something else in Super, and it's equally funny. I think you'll like it. It's a reason to watch Super, actually. It's pretty darn funny. Oh, and also Vegeta and Goku have a beard at one point, which is equally funny. Ah, yes, you're in the back there. Shake, 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 shake. Yeah, here comes Shane. This is the most running he's ever done.
Can me and Shane run to the front so I can give you a hug?
Dude, that would be a great idea. You know what? You never got to ask your question. I really feel like Shane should run back there, figure out what's happening. Yeah.
If you could scare any celebrity with your Vegeta voice, who would it be?
Oh man. Charlie Day, maybe. He is Like, if there was any way I could work with Charlie Day on like anything, I would work with that guy. He is one of my favorite voices in the business. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is also one of my favorite shows. So, let's see. Goku, right here. Or Vegeta, sorry. Same thing.
I was wondering if you'd seen the DBZ Abridged series, and if you did, how you felt about it.
I've never heard of it. It sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't think I've ever heard of it. It sounds. If you're talking about a shorter version of Dragon Ball Z, that's called Dragon Ball Kai, like Dragon Ball Z Kai. So that's cool. You know, people call it what they want. You know. Ghost hand guy. Shake.
I asked you this earlier when I met you, and it's a slightly odd request, but can you quote Macho Man Randy Savage and Alex Louise Armstrong's voice?
You really like me doing that. This is literally the second time today you've asked me to. This is a slapper to a Slim Jim that's been passed down the Armstrong line for generation, man. You're welcome. Yes, red hair.
Nami?
Oh, hi Nami.
Hi Zoro.
You do not sound like Nami at all. You sound like Robin.
I grew up with her,
Okay, fine.
okay? So I saw an interview with Eric Vale, and I saw on like a fun fact video that you and Eric Vale actually auditioned for Sanji and Zoro, but you were gonna be Sanji and he was gonna be Zoro. What was that going to sound like when you auditioned? I mean,
Pretty much the same, you know. Actually, I don't think that was, oddly enough, a fun fact is that Eric Vale, the voice of Trunks and the voice of Sanji in One Piece, was actually the voice of Luffy in one particular version of Dragon. Like we did a temp version, like a test of One Piece, way like years before. It was actually a couple of years before even 4Kids got the dub. We did like a test dub to just see what people would think about it, and Eric actually played Luffy in that. So that's like a weird fun fact. But I wouldn't have done Sanji's voice any different actually than I would have done Zoro's. I definitely wanted to play Zoro over Sanji though, because when I thought that Funimation was going to get the license for One Piece, and then we didn't, I started reading the manga and watching the show as much as possible, and I really loved Zoro. That was the character I really wanted to play, so I'm glad it eventually came back to me. Also, fun fact, Eric Vale is a turd. So, yes, I will tell him I said hi. He's also one of my best friends, but he's also a turd. He's human waste, is Eric Vale. He's probably somewhere crying right now with Ian Sinclair. I'm kidding. Ian's probably crying by himself because he doesn't have any friends. So let's see. That guy. I'm being kinder to Shane right now. I'm letting him have his cool off before his second lap. Prepare your questions back there.
This isn't really a question, but more of a request. In Balto's voice for Ghost in the Shell, can you do a reaction to the live-action Ghost in the Shell movie?
Major, you're white. Cool. Never imagined that. I was like, Miss Johansson, I loved you in Lucy. I thought it was really excited to see you in this. I joke, but I am very excited to see that movie. I don't know about you guys, but have any of you had a chance to go out and see it yet? I think it's already, did it start today or this weekend or something? Yeah. What are you doing here? Get the hell out of here and go watch Ghost in the Shell. Oh yeah, this is way better. Yes, you're in the way back. You're in the farthest back, yes. Yes, actually, hold on. Before we do that question, let's get this question that was right here. This girl, the purple hair right here, yeah. Hold on one second, we'll get you in a minute. It's just, he was right here. I figured I'd go ahead and do that.
So there was some guy here before 8:30 who was not Chris Sabat, and he did the over 9,000 quote.
Yeah.
I was hoping that you, your best Vegeta impression, could do the over 9,000 quote.
I would never do that. I don't know. What sort of butthole was doing that voice before me? Oh, well, I might as well do it. It's over 9,000! Okay. Yes. Little known fact, that was not me in that meme, just so you guys know that. But I've given up arguing with fans that fact, because it doesn't, I could either just do the quote as people want me to do it, or I could explain the whole concept of that it was like the Canadian actor and it was taken from the original, like the ocean dub and blah blah, and then they go, okay, cool, so would you still do it? So I just skip the whole explanation part and just go ahead and just do it anyway. Let's see.
You had one back here, remember?
Which one?
Back here, you said you'd give
Yes. I'm gonna do that one, but let me get her question first. Let me just go ahead and get her first. You don't have a question. Oh, you do. Okay, yeah, she has a question.
Okay, hold on.
I will surpass you, Kakarot!
Number one.
Whoa,
So if you ever need
I'm
anyone
hearing
to take
myself.
over. Yeah, if you ever need anyone to take over, hi. But I love you, so I hope you don't need anyone
I love
to.
you too, it's good.
Yay! Could you do, in the Vegeta voice, insulting Boo, and could you do like a little Mr. Popo thing, like, oh, Kame? Like,
Kame?
Wait, one second. Okay.
Mr. Popo does not lie. Oh, hey, I'm looking for the sacred water, Kame. Mr. Popo, come, quickly, put the sacred water on my back. Kame, it's a bit weird. Just apply the sacred ointment, quickly. What the heck are you guys doing? That is nasty. Get out of here. I'm sorry, Vegeta. I'm secretly the strongest person in the show. You're welcome. Yeah, cool. Yes. All right, let's get her question. Yay! It's gonna go get her. Go ahead. Unless, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and get hers. Yes.
Thank you for blessing me by choosing me. I
You're
just
welcome.
want to ask, if you could be a lead singer for any band, who would it be?
If I could be a what for any band?
A lead singer.
Lead singer for any band. Oh gosh. Wow. I will not be saying Nickelback, by the way, if that's what someone asked for. Let's see. If I could be the lead singer for any band, it would probably be like a Radiohead, a very Tom York type of thing, because he's probably one of my favorite kind of like melody lyricists. But let's pick something funnier. Probably like the lead singer, was it the Bing Bong Club or whatever? Is it? Yeah,
Boingo, boingo.
Not Oingo Boingo. Gosh. Jeez. I'm gonna have to come back to that question. I don't have a really funny answer to it. I don't, I just don't know. Bill and the Cosbys. Let's see, so many, water bottle hand guy. Come on, Shane.
I'm looking for a water bottle. I don't see a water bottle.
Oh yeah, he put it down.
So, I wanted to get your thoughts on a character, mostly to draw attention to a series that I'm pretty sure I'm the only person in the world who's ever seen it, and that would be the character of Roy from Salty Ray.
Oh yeah. Woo! All two of you guys love that show. That show is actually a great show. It was one of the first shows, anime that wasn't Dragon Ball, that I directed at my studio called Okratron 5000. I got to play the main character in it. His name is Roy Revant. He's this guy who doesn't want to have kids, but then an alien falls from the sky and he gets like a kid. It's really romantic. But yeah, it's a super depressing show, and actually is pretty good. So when you're rummaging through your Funimation Now account or something like that, you're really bored, check it out. It's really good. Thank you for the compliment, though. Let's see. Purple hand Joker person.
I didn't have a question. I mostly just wanted to see Shane run, but now I have a question.
Okay.
Out of everyone who played from Dragon Ball Z, who was your favorite character?
My favorite character for real is Vegeta because he's just the best character in the show. Hands down, he is the best character in Dragon Ball Z. I'm sorry, I don't care. My second favorite character is Mr. Satan. I loved Hercule because I think he's actually one of the most rounded characters in the show. Like he really has kind of a really nice journey from being like pompous to actually, well, like being a little humble and then pompous again. But of all the characters I have the most fun with, Yamcha is my favorite because he's just so lame. And probably my favorite figure I have in my entire figure collection is a dead Yamcha action figure. It really does exist. There's like this dead Yamcha and he's like curled up. It's after he gets destroyed by the Cybermen or whatever. And if you put him in the middle of like an apple pie, it looks exactly like the series. I'm not kidding. It's one of my favorite, it's one of my favorite things. And if any of you guys are watching Dragon Ball Super, you're noticing, there are some things that I'm adding to the show that are not necessarily accurate in the Japanese, but things I feel like need to be said. I really feel like there should be this very awkward dynamic between Bulma and Vegeta and Yamcha, because Yamcha just flat out shouldn't be hanging out anymore. He shouldn't even be there. They're not, Bulma and Yamcha aren't dating. Any normal guy would just go all right, well that's cool, she's horrible, and I'm probably just gonna take off or whatever, because this is super awkward. So, there have been so many little subtle things I'm trying to add in to Super that justify this awkward thing where Bulma's trying to convince, in a certain episode, Bulma's trying to convince Vegeta to go hang out with the rest of the people at the party, and she's like, come on, let's go see everyone. It's like, yeah, fine, let's go see Yamcha. And then when Bulma introduces Yamcha to the character to Beerus and Whis, she's like, and this is my friend Yamcha. So yeah, just think about that when you watch Dragon Ball Z. That's just not something most people would tolerate. Let's see, foot shoe guy. He's right there. He's foot shoe guy. I read about it. He's foot shoe guy. Check, one. I like your voice, too.
Thank you so much. That means a lot for you. But two good questions. One being, as a voice actor, how do you constantly using your voice and flexing your vocal muscles? How do you kind of take care of your voice and make sure you don't damage it in a way?
I wish I was more careful with my voice, and I'm not. The only thing I try to do is if it's night before I know I've got to work on Dragon Ball, I usually just try and get a decent night's sleep and just wake up early enough and warm up. And I don't do a lot of the superstitious kind of don't drink milk or any of that other stuff. There is this Chinese herb that actually is really good. You can smoke it and get you. No, it's this Chinese tincture. It's called Ning Kang Kong Tong Twa or something like that. I can never remember the name of it. But it is this almost. It's this. It has loquat in it and honey. And if you ever jack your voice up really badly, you can drink some of that, and the power of Chinese medicine comes to save you. Mr. Miyagi comes down and virtually puts his hand on your throat, and you feel better. But yeah, you also just have to know your limits.
Also, could I get
Yeah, I'm adorable. Only the man is the hugs. God, this is happening. Oh man. I did meet a guy earlier today in the autographs, and he was a very, very cool person. He goes, by the way, I just want to thank you. You know, Vegeta taught me a lot about who I'm attracted to, and it's mostly people who look like Vegeta. So that is kind of awesome. Yes. Let's see. Poster person guy, middle.
Just real quick, I'm gonna have to be the guy who says no more physical hugs and whatnot. I have to take my quick staff member position.
Only metaphysical hugs. Only
It can be like
only hugs of the mind, air hugs.
Yeah, stuff like that. But I'm gonna be the jerk who says no more of that.
Oh, he's in the middle. Keep going. Shane.
He ran to me.
Whoa.
Very friendly.
You should run back with that microphone so he's got to come get you.
Microphone back. But you said earlier about encouraging people on YouTube and voice acting to follow whatever they want to do. So how did it feel to how did you get to work on a show like Ruby? No, I love the show, I think it's good. How did Funimation how a lot of the names work on a show that started as just a very small show on Rooster Teeth under?
Actually, Funimation had nothing to do with that because I don't work in-house at Funimation at all.
How did so many, let me rephrase it, so many major voice actors ended up working on that show?
I think it's because Ruby is based out of Austin, Texas, and we're in Dallas, Texas. And we have a really pretty broad acting pool in Dallas, and I think they're just sort of tapping into that a little bit. I know it's really funny. I actually am doing the voice of Watts on Ruby, and I'll tell you how it happened. I had an employee that I never even met, actually. I had an employee that was doing editing for different projects for us, and we would just send her the files, and she would edit them and then deliver it back to us. So I actually never met the girl. And then she got a job working at Rooster Teeth. And I literally saw her on her last day. She was coming in to go grab something. I was like, hey, thanks for working with us. It's nice to finally meet you. I was like, what are you doing? She goes, I'm going to work over at Rooster Teeth. Oh, tell those guys they're awesome and I'd love to work with them someday. And literally 2 days later, I got a call from them and they're like, we want to work with you too. So I've been working with them on Watts since, and I also did, I don't know if you guys saw that Red vs. Blue episode, so that legacy story. I played a guy named Cyrus, and it was so much fun. Like, they're the best people to work with. They're so creative, they're so talented. Big fan. I've always been a big fan of Red vs. Blue.
Okay, can you have in your voice Vegeta kicking Watts' ass?
Whose ass?
Watts from Ruby.
Oh yes. This was like a nice place to say, I'm going to kill you, blast! Okay. It was a really dramatic scene. I'm really great in improv. Let's see. Blonde hair, front, like blonde, reddish, blonde. Any strawberry person.
So I did some research online because I'm a stalker, so why not? And I found out that you like to make electronic music. So,
and can you speak up just a tiny bit? Like, it's not facing me, so I can't hear it really well.
okay. What type of electronic music do you like to make?
Oh, I'd like, let's see, probably my favorite electronic artist, sort of. He's electronic in so much that he makes his music kind of on a computer, but he does a lot of source recording of stuff. His name is Amon Tobin. I don't know if you've ever heard of that guy. He's probably my all-time favorite. And then, let's see, Amon Tobin, I love him. I like Square Pusher or Aphex Twin. More kind of experimental, kind of avant-garde stuff. I like people who find, Matthew Herbert, stuff like that, people who find sounds in the world and then turn them into instruments. I love sampling and things like that, so.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for, that's a good question. Yes, Jacket Man. Jacket Man. He is Jacket Man. Jacket Man, sold separately. Jacket sold separately. Batteries not included. Funny laughing jacket guy not included. Laughing sold separately. Laughing action button sold separately.
Okay. So before I get to the question, I want to ask if you already gotten through One Punch Man.
I was in the first episode of One Punch Man. Were you all aware of that? There was a guy in the first episode, he looked like Piccolo, his name was Maxine Man.
Nice.
I've watched everything, all of the show up to where my character appears.
My big question.
Jacket Man's got questions. Sold separately. Except it made.
Would you like to see Saitama fight the characters of Dragon Ball? Specifically Vegeta or Majin Buu?
No, I don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see that happen because in that magical universe, he just punches somebody one time and then it's over with. So, I'm hoping that maybe Vegeta or Goku or someone in the Dragon Ball universe would just talk to him too much and eventually he'd get bored and then maybe someone punch him first or something. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I've always in one episode, that's it. I talked a lot and then I screamed and died.
I just say that because recently there's been a few fan comics with Dragon Ball blending in with One Punch Man.
Who won? Did Vegeta win?
It's a draw between Saitama and Vegeta.
Good.
And then the second one is the martial arts tournament. And Mr. Satan won.
Yes, I love it. He's like, Hercule Punch versus One Punch. Let's see. We only have time for maybe one more question, so this one's like really important. Let's see. Whoa. Ghost hat guy, sorry. All right, make this good.
Finally, my arm's getting tired. The question was kind of floating around for a little bit, but if there was like any character from like any other franchise or genre of media that you've ever wanted to voice, who would you voice and why?
I would want to play Solid Snake. That's the character I really have always wanted to play because I always loved that game. David Hayter was awesome in it, and I absolutely loved his Solid Snake. And the new Solid Snake, he's fine too. He's kind of a noob though, so. But yeah, that's probably the one character I want to play. And I love the way David Hayter played him too. It's like, I gotta find a better lead. It's like so weird. It's like his voice was so awkward, but you could always tell that he did certain, like when they were localizing the game, he did certain sections at one time, then he'd have to do other sections of the game at different times, so he might be like sneaking around, being really quiet, and then he'll go, beep, beep. He's like, what's up, Sabat? And he's supposed to like hiding somewhere really obscure, and he talks really loud. Yeah, it always made me laugh. And I think, guys, I'm really sorry to say this, but I believe that's the end of our session today. And so, but guess what? I'm back here tomorrow doing stuff, so come see the stuff tomorrow. Thank you guys very much. I've been told that they have to kind of clear out this room because something's happening in this not too long after this, so right after this, yeah. Thank you guys for coming.
You can see Chris Sabat tomorrow.